Hey, 3 times and it's finally working almost properly. Hey, there you go. Hey, we're finally getting there. Man, I love it. I love it how 1/3 of the time it functions. Wow, that is just amazing. Anyway, so what's up, America? Sorry, had to do that because I don't pay no never mind. That's just what it is, and that's what you have to do. And I don't even care. It's my own personal thoughts on that. And if you don't like it, who cares whatsoever? This is my live stream, and I can do whatever the hell I feel. And that's exactly what we're doing here. Sorry about the glare. The biggest issue is I need a new phone. That's what it is. This phone I have is absolute garbage. What's up, America? How you doing, Marine? This phone I'm streaming on, I need to throw it in the trash and buy a new one. Preferably an Apple or something that's new. This isn't even that old of a phone, but it's like I'm filming on a potato. And I've noticed it's getting worse and worse every single day. The funny thing is, what's up, Dave? The funny thing is the only thing I do is make videos and stream on this, so I barely do anything at all, but the Android is still an Android, which is absolute trash. I noticed, perchance, when we were in Tennessee and I was trying to take pictures or video with this phone, and then my kids have iPhones, so I was taking pictures and video. I was trying to live stream with this Android when I was in Tennessee. What's up, Nana? I was trying to live stream with this Android when I was in Tennessee, and it wouldn't even film. It would just cut off. It would stop working. This phone drops the internet constantly. It never stays on. But my kids, they have iPhones, and they never lose signal. Everything's fine. The pictures are 10 times better. So I don't know exactly what the problem is here, but I'm thinking that Android is not it in any capacity whatsoever. And I'm perfectly fine with getting rid of Android tomorrow, throwing this potato in the river, and getting any other thing. Because, frankly speaking, an Android is kind of a piece of trash. Just my opinion. I've tried every setting to make it better. All as it does is you have to try everything 3, 4, 5 times in order to get it to work. So I recommend throwing your Androids in the garbage. Thank you, Nana. I recommend throwing your Androids in the garbage and replacing them with any other device. I'm personally waiting for technology to grow. I know the wealthy billionaires are trying to hold back some of that so they can. So I am going to be uncool. I pooped my pants. Ah, very nice. Very nice. Actually, it's not bad. It'll keep the bears away. So we have some news when it comes to Iran. What's up, America? This is big news when it's coming to Iran, because the big news that's going on out here is that Iran has not, oh, you're good. Iran has not accepted Donald Trump's 15-point peace plan. Where are you now? New York City. No, I'm fucking the Midwest. And so Donald Trump proposed a 15-point peace plan. He gave it to the Iranian government, saying that there were going to be no nukes. They were going to have limited missiles. The IAEA would come in. We'd have shared Straits of Hormuz privilege, etc., etc. And the Iranian government told us to fuck ourselves. They literally said, quote, "You're negotiating with yourselves." Oh, it's $4.15 a gallon here. I love that my New York. What's your favorite actor? Oh, dude, that's going to be tough. You'll have to give me a minute on that one. I would say Bill Burr or Dave Chappelle, but they're comedians. Anyway, but we're also finding out in breaking news just moments ago that Russia will be sending drones to Iran. So the Russians are now sending drones to fight the United States and Israel. Don't ask me that on this platform, for God's sakes. I don't want to get banned. Anyway, thousands of troops are being deployed to the Middle East. We already have Marines on the ground, 82nd Airborne, and now Donald Trump is saying that an invasion of Iran could be as early as next week. I would say it's probably going to be stunning if we don't invade Iran. And so this right here, saying that Donald Trump had every intention to invade Iran. No, you're good. Every intention to invade Iran initially, and was just doing this as a formality. Now, the funny thing is over the last couple of days, I'm thinking so, my friend. Over the last couple of days, we've heard story after story about how Donald Trump was saying that we were talking to Iran, and the media saying that we weren't doing that. Then the Iranians came out here and said we're not going to be accepting this peace plan. I'll tell you my opinion in a minute. And of course, the peace plan was through a back channel. So the news media said that Donald Trump was lying, right? But in actual reality, Donald Trump and our teams, I guess you want to call it that, have been talking through back channels to Iran even when we were attacking. So the news media doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about. So, spoiler alert, when the news media says that fucking every single thing is fine, the government's not telling you everything. The government's not going to tell you everything on purpose. It's just what it's... You want to talk about Israel? The people of Israel are nice. The government sucks. I hate Palestine, but I also am not fancy of Benjamin Netanyahu. How's that sound? There you go. Anyway, and we could go on with that. That's a taste. So it's looking like the United States not only will be invading Iran in the next week or two unless something's happening, Donald Trump is also backing off of Benjamin Netanyahu, which is actually kind of weird. Donald Trump has brutally slapped down Benjamin Netanyahu's push for America to incite a street revolution to topple the Iranian regime. Donald Trump told Benjamin Netanyahu, quote, "Why the hell should we tell people to take to the streets when they're just going to get mowed down by the government?" Says Donald Trump talking to Benjamin Netanyahu on a call last week. The call came just hours after Iran's security chief Ali Larijani was killed in an Israeli strike on Tuesday. Netanyahu told Trump the regime was in disarray, that there was a window for a popular uprising, but Donald Trump feared a massacre among the civilian population. Mindful that thousands of Iranians had been slaughtered by paramilitary forces during anti-regime protests, Netanyahu and Trump agreed to wait and see if the Iranians would come out during the annual Festival of Fire without encouragement. But Benjamin Netanyahu proceeded anyway, stating on TV, "Our aircraft are striking terrorist operatives. This meant to allow brave Iranian people to celebrate the festival." So, and Donald Trump said, "You're going to get massacred if you do it." That was sub-sovereign America. So, Donald Trump slapped down Benjamin Netanyahu in an attempt to get us to assist in a popular uprising. Now, some people are saying that, I know this is weed though. Some people, what's up, Woodsman? Some people are saying that there will be a massacre if the people take to the streets. Some people are saying that it requires the Donald Trump and the United States military to help the people get to this point. We've got quite a bit of shit going on. But what we do know, and that this just came out, is that the Russian government is sending drones to Iran in first evidence that Moscow is providing military support for the war. So what we're doing now is, now that the Iranian government got their drone factories blown up, it's looking like the Russians will be replacing those in order to attack the United States. Now, or at least our interests in the area. So the question is, does that make Russia an enemy? That's the bigger question that we should talk about here. Because obviously we're in a full-scale war with Iran right now currently. And we also have a potential for Chinese supplying. Does this make the Russians an enemy? Because your eyes are stunning. Grazie, I guess. So I need a better background. So why Does this not make Russia an enemy? Does this mean that we should hold Russia accountable for Ukraine? Would Russia hold us accountable? There are so many facets going on here in world politics right now, but there's one thing that most... What's up, Borden Ray? How you doing? That's funny. But one thing we have to understand, with all this foreign policy bullshit going on, not much is being done to help the people of America. Not much is done to helping the people of America. Gas prices are going up. Nobody gives a fuck, which I know it's Iran's war and I know those people need to be free. But at the same time, it does suck. Food prices are not coming down. The house, I've gone over all this for years till I could puke coat hangers. Now what? You seem upset. Something. You're like not talkative now.
I wasn't talkative before.
Nevertheless. Get rid of Trump, the world. See, that's the thing. I don't think it's Trump. I think there's a much deeper problem in the world right now that's not being addressed, that a Democrat or a Republican cannot repair. And it has to do with mood, direction, people, what page we're all in. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of where we're at right now. So when you're looking, what's up, Nana? So you say, like, what is the overall theme and push of the world right now? It used to be fight certain bad guys, world peace, technological and medical advancement or prowess, making a lot of money. There was always some push with the people of the United States. But where are we now? Because right now, there is no theme in the United States except make the billionaires as much money as possible. There is no drive, spirit, mentality for anything, no matter what it is at all. Nothing. And most of that's been caused by a full decade of infighting, Marine, between left and right, thinking you dumbasses can actually get one over on each other or rule the other one better than they can rule you. The reason it seems like there's not any gain and you're not doing good is because there's not. You see what I'm saying? There's not. I should have just turned it off and never came back. And I'm serious. It's like ridiculous. So, what is the theme of America? What is the theme of America? Are we helping the poor? Are we being the good guys? Are we taking out the enemy? What would you call our theme, I guess you want to say it? Because this Iran war is not drumming up success when it comes to people coming together to fight. Democrats and Republicans are not coming together whatsoever. They can't even pay TSA agents. And Chuck Schumer's a piece of shit and everybody else is, basically. So where are we here? We need some type of push. And the government saying that we're going to take Iran, we're going to fight this, that, or the other, it's not driving people anymore. All right? That notion that we all get behind something after 9/11, shit like that, right? It's not doing it anymore. People are sick of it. They're sick of the once-in-a-lifetime events happening every 2 years. They're sick of the constant financial scarring of your life. They're sick of the difficulty with jobs and making ends meet and blah, 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 blah. Oh, no, it will be. It went from Iran to this. What do you want me to do? Just stick on one topic for an hour and a half? I'm lucky I'm even here. I don't even want to be doing this tonight. Because as soon as fucking this app fucked up initially, I was like, of course it does. I can read it like a book. It doesn't want me to hit the initial live stream because that means somebody might actually see my streams. So we can't do that. Everything must be locked down, button tight, while YouTube and Meta loses a case today. And so I'll just talk about this since it's the elephant in the room anyway. Meta has lost two cases. Thank you, Maureen. In the last 48 hours, and YouTube lost another court case just hours ago. No, it's just YouTube. So a jury in Los Angeles finds Meta and YouTube negligent in a social media addiction trial. So a jury in Los Angeles determined that Meta and YouTube were negligent and failed to warn users of the dangers associated with using these platforms in a case that could have repercussions across... What happened? This is almost empty when I got it. I had it yesterday. Which could cause repercussions across social media. The personal injury trial commenced January in Los Angeles Superior Court. A young woman identified only as KGM alleged that she became addicted to YouTube and Instagram as a child. Deliberations began March 13th. Jurors ultimately ruled in favor of the plaintiff, who said that Meta and YouTube played a significant factor in causing mental health-related harm. Compensatory damages were assessed at $3 million, but punitive damages will be assessed next month. $2.1 million to be paid by Meta and $900,000 by YouTube. Now, that doesn't sound like a lot, and it's really not. But one of the bigger issues here is not necessarily that, but later on, these platforms could be forced to change algorithmic functions, which actually would benefit probably most people here, right, in this platform. Because I know everybody that's a YouTube creator, I know you're just loving the new platform, aren't you? Aren't you loving the changes to the algorithm? Man, isn't that great? Haven't your views gone down by 60%? Yeah, of course. I know you've loved what they've done in the last 4 or 5 months here on YouTube and all these other platforms as you try so hard to get fucked in the A. Well, now these platforms might actually have to change their algorithm instead of trying to keep your eyeballs on screen only. What's up, America? Maybe they'll bring back a like and dislike button. And another shit, a thumbnail that can be 3 megabytes instead of 2. But instead of focusing on how to keep some little kid addicted to watching SpongeBob edits on YouTube for the better part of 14 years. That would probably have been a better idea. That's what I've been saying for years, is that all these platforms, TikTok, Meta, YouTube, blah, 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 have all devolved into this system only to try to make you only watch, never focusing your eyes anywhere else ever. Only at the platform. The real world doesn't exist. Because if you take your eyes away for a second, an advertiser might lose $1. Oh, mercy me, my stars. We have to watch out for that, right? And so for the last decade or so, you, the viewer and creator, have been responsible for making ad money for people while they fuck you financially. Now, all of a sudden, this person that says that she had crippling mental distress, suffered severe body dysmorphia, depression, self-harm due to her near constant use of YouTube and Meta. And the constant notifications made it difficult for her to stop. She says that she would get off the platform and another notification would tell them to come back to the app. Even notifications telling them to stop using the app. So one user on here said that YouTube was sending them apps to tell, or notifications to tell them to get off the platform, but they would have to check the notification, which would make them want to be on the platform. So it was a revolting, vicious cycle. Now, Meta and YouTube have both denied the plaintiff's claims, saying that they take safety and health concerns seriously and have implemented features intended to minimize potential harms. Of course, as we know, TikTok already had an investigation with that, saying it had absolutely no help whatsoever on stopping addictive behavior and usages. said that YouTube and Meta caused her to have a turbulent childhood, related family issues, blah, 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 had to seek therapy, I want some money, pay me. So that's basically what we have there with YouTube and Meta. That happened just recently, actually earlier today. So it seems like a small story. That seems like a small story that was going on, but it'll have ramifications in the next couple of years. Mark my words on that. Now, we have to talk about Iran for a minute, because this is the bigger news here, and Iran is going to be a problem coming up here because Iran is not going to stop with their fighting. The Iranian government has said there won't be a peace. They've rejected our shit. We have Marines and the 82nd Airborne Division in the area poised to invade Iran, at least several of the islands to the south. But now we're ramping up, saying that we might just need to invade Iran as a whole in the background because of that. Now, Iran is continuing to strike military targets and civilian targets in the region, already ramping up with military strikes recently. Now, that sounds all fine and dandy like sour candy, but at the same time, Russia's going to be supplying them with weapons. So the fact that, here you go, Russia will be supplying these fuckfaces with weapons means that this is going to be going for quite some time. Kind of like the Russia-Ukraine war that's been going on for quite some time. Hold on, I'm going to change my background. You want to know why? I don't like that background. It seems to, like it's New York, but it's not Doc. You know what I mean? Like the other one was nicer. Do you not agree? I like the other one. But yeah, that's what's going on with that. And we're waiting for attacks to come. I know a lot of people say there was a lot of news today. There really hasn't been a lot of news today here in the United States. Iran released footage of them blowing up the Statue of Liberty, which is absolutely stupid and useless, putting that with a statue of Moloch on there. But there's a lot of AI-generated images and videos that are coming out, and so it's very difficult to find footage on what's actually happening or what's real because of the fact that so much of this bullshit is simply fake garbage. Most of it's Iranian propaganda, and a lot of people are unaware that Iranian propaganda has permeated a great deal of what you're looking at. Iranian propaganda has permeated our own news media sources here in the United States. What's up, America? Which is absolutely horrible. Even CNN and MSNBC have been live airing fake AI videos, some that came from video games, as a matter of fact, as war footage put out by Iran. And just a minute ago, Israeli Air Forces kill about 200 members of the IRGC, according to the Iranian opposition. Mosques are no longer safe places, so Israel has blown up 200 more Iranian Guard members. That is great. But here's other propaganda coming from Iran. The United States military is struggling badly in Iran. What are they supposed to be doing? What was supposed to be quick has turned into a murky quagmire that will last for years with the graves of thousands of American soldiers. Blah, 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 blah. And it's all horseshit. It's all propaganda garbage. Now, the realities on the ground, whether you're for Iran or against Iran, are absolutely irrelevant. The Iranian army is fucked. The Iranian communication forces are gone. The Iranian missile making capacity and drone making capacity are destroyed. What's up, SJF? Which is why they're getting drones from Russia. And the Iranian Navy is destroyed with no air superiority whatsoever, making them a completely fucked up nation. But what we have to talk about on top of the Iranian stuff, which we are waiting for retaliation and attacks, like I said about 45 seconds ago, Iranian opposition is saying that Israel attacked Iran and blew up around 200 IRGC Iranian Guard members. That would be the single largest killing of IRGC members, and the single largest killing outside of a school that we blew up by accident. Oops. That's a shame. But we're also getting something on here called, and you're going to love this, the energy lockdowns. Now, some of you have heard about this and some of you have not. Behind the scenes, most of you are not realizing, and I did put a video on TikTok up. I don't think I put it up here yet. There are now gas stations running out of fuel worldwide. India, Indonesia, Sri Lanka, some places in South America, Western Europe, particularly England and Germany. Hell yeah, what's up, S-Champ? I do not drive a Tesla. I am a conservative, fiscal conservative, so what the fuck's wrong with you? Anyway, so that being the case, energy shortages are on the horizon. Now, people are saying that this is a political issue. This is not a political issue. I have footage of it, of thousands of people in tuk-tuks waiting for miles, thousands of people with their motorbikes waiting for miles. In Ethiopia, there was a line of 12 miles of vehicles that were waiting for gas because there was no gas at gas stations. The one gas station in the region with fuel had a line 12 miles long waiting for gas. Mostly buses, by the way, meaning that there's going to be a great deal of fuel that's just going to be... these countries are going to run out of gas. You say, well, why is that? Well, that's because they get a lot, even though we don't get a lot of our oil from Iran, we don't get any of our oil from Iran, actually. The world, gets a lot of their oil from Iran. And these particular assholes, the Iranian government, are now picking and choosing which nations that'll be able to send tankers through or not. So, for instance, the Iranian government told Spain today that because they did not allow the United States to use their bases, Spanish vessels will now be allowed in through the Straits of Hormuz without being destroyed. Now, the United States government says that we'll protect most of the shipping. That's actually true. However, the reason these prices for oil are going up are A, speculation, and B, cost of insurance for the shipping. I'm actually serious on that. The cost of insurance for shipping this shit has gone up 3 to 5 times, and you're seeing some of the effects of that. Now, energy lockdowns are now being talked about, and Larry Fink of BlackRock, if you know those fuckfaces, Larry Fink is now talking of $150 a barrel oil, triggering a global recession. Now, you know Larry Fink is in the know because he's one of the globalist fuckfaces that have basically done all this. Well, I'm reading the news right here, asshole. So I'm watching. You want me to show you Larry Fink say what I'm saying, you fucking idiot? So I literally have a video of him saying it. And, oh, it's just, yeah. Okay, so here. Alternative will have to be like...
If there's a cessation of war, and yet Iran remains a threat to trade, a threat to the Straits of Hormuz, then I would argue that we can have years of above $100, closer to $150 oil.
What happens to the global economy if that happens? How do we see it?
We'll have global recession.
Okay, so I don't know if you heard that. Larry Fink of BlackRock says that if this continues, we'll have oil $100 to $150 a barrel for years. Basically, gas prices from $4 to $6 to even $7 a gallon for years. And what will happen with that? What's up, America? What's up, me? That it'll turn into global recession is what he says. Oh, my God. And yet I'm lying. Isn't that funny, honey? Mm-hmm. Some people out here really are dumb as fuck, aren't they? You got nothing to do but talk shit, which is why some of you need to be slapped the fuck up and choked out, because you need that. You need to get an education that way. But that's what we're going to do here. So if this continues, and it's going to continue, the war in Iran is not going to abruptly end. So also, Iran is not winning. Also, it's going to take, absolutely, Woodsman. Also, it's going to take America more than you think. Thank you, SJF. You are awesome. So, thank you, my friend. So, America, it will take more effort to take out Iran than we thought, obviously. Iran will not win the war. So, if you're out there saying Iran is defeating America, you are a propagandist. That's all you are. A shit propagandist. And that's what you're saying. Well, Iran's going to take out America. You couldn't hit the broadside of a fucking barn with your Chinese missile horse shit. What's up, Leslie? Your missiles, Iran, were actually more accurate than the shit you got from Iran or from China that CENTCOM discovered. Right? So the $5 billion of weapons that came from China, most of that, 96% of it, failed. Didn't hit its target. Blew up some of your own people, actually. Wonderful results. The Iranian shit actually worked better than the Chinese garbage. When these Russian drones come into Iran, those are going to work better too. Right? It's a paper tiger, and that's what it is. But make no mistake, Iran. I know you think you got this, but you don't. Your little propaganda army on Twitter, that's not going to win a battle. And when the United States military finally invades the small islands and the mainland of Iran, guess what's going to happen? You're going to lose in every single engagement. The only way you will ever win shit is if you strap explosives to yourself and blow up innocent people like you like to do. And that's still not taking out the military. That's killing your own people like a bunch of fucking idiots. You see what I'm saying? So you're not going to defeat the United States. If you took 1,000 Marines against 9,000 Bajid or IRGC forces, you would wipe them out, and we would have approximately 21 casualties, give or take. There is no debate on that. You would get fucked up so hard, you thought it was a career. Actually, it is a career. It's from the United States Marine Corps. That's what they do. That's what that is. You can't imagine the devastation. You think, I know you think, and it's never going to work out for you. Because you see how you took out innocent people, how you policed unarmed civilians. Yeah, you did good at that. But when you come up against a Marine with 330 rounds of ammunition on him and a squad automatic weapon with full tactical battle gear and tactics that you never even understood, that is fucking 30 years ahead of your planning, you don't even understand what's going to happen. Now, does that mean the world's going to suffer financially? Of course it is. But that's what life and reality is. It'll only get bad until you hit the mountains. Once you hit the mountainous regions, then it becomes Afghanistan all over again. But we can still do shit there. It's just going to take more effort. But about 75% of your country will fall immediately within weeks. Within weeks. And then once your threat is eliminated, because, how do I put this? Men on the run with only small arms cannot fire ballistic missiles at gas refineries. See how that works? So when we do invade Iran and we have you on the run, you're not going to be able to fire anything but localized attacks. You're not going to be able to fire regional attacks on your Gulf neighbors. You're not going to be able to supply Hezbollah or Hamas. Everything will fucking die. All your proxy militaries, the Yemeni Houthis will dry up. Those people will be out of fucking food, water, and munitions quite quickly. Same with fucking Hezbollah. They will be destroyed by Israel. Same with Hamas. They're already garbage. The world is done with it. The world is done with your idiocy and your stupidity. We don't want it anymore. We think there is a better future than some Islamic jihadi threatening to murder people because we feel a different way religiously. Or maybe your sexuality doesn't line up, and so therefore you have to be killed by a jihadi. Okay? We don't, like, jihad, intifada, all this dumbass bullshit, we're all done with it. Okay? We don't want these people to live. We don't want Hezbollah members to live. We want you to not find rest or respite anywhere in the world. We want you to always be looking over your shoulder, thinking you're going to die, maybe not answer a phone call, maybe it's got an explosive in it from the Mossad. This is the type we want, because that's what you fucking did. And you say, well, Israel doesn't belong here. Bitch, you don't belong here. Who the fuck do you think you are? Because you fucking didn't, what? Because bygones of the past? Is that what it is? Get over yourself. You're failed. You're curtains. You're run amok. Whether you like Israel or not, whether you like the United States or not, you have to understand that those nations cannot be defeated. You already tried to take Israel out with 6 fucking nations, and you were all defeated. All of you. Lebanon was defeated. Jordan was defeated. Syria was defeated. Egypt was defeated. The PLO state was defeated. I'm not sure, was Saudi Arabia or Iraq involved? They were defeated. All of your enemies fell beneath your feet in absolute destruction and misery. Some of them have never risen again. What's up, Stephanie? So this wet dream you have of the destruction of America and Israel, those will only be destroyed from within. You will not externally destroy them. Once we destroy ourselves, then you can pick at the pieces. But right now, saying a bunch of jihadi pirates are going to get together to kill people in America, you're not going to defeat us. You're done. You're fucking garbage. You fucking believe rape and murder is the way to get ahead. Fuck you. And you say, well, we're just bullies. No, we're not bullies. You're the bullies. We're attacking you with more force in order to make you fucking die. So you'll understand that you are in the wrong. Here's the average people. Here's the dictatorships crushing the people. And the people cannot stand until the giant comes and smushes the dictators. You say, well, wait, we need to do that. We need to do that. So many of you, specifically liberals out there and conservatives, want to take apart your domestic enemies, right? Liberals hate conservatives, conservatives hate liberals. That's wonderful, stupid bullshit. But you both are saying the same dumb fuckery. You're both saying we want peace in our time, we want fucking prosperity, but you withhold it from one side or the other as if your political enemies don't deserve it. Barack Obama was just the first big example of that, where he basically withheld resources from states that didn't vote for him and gave favor to other states that did vote for him. Most presidents, at least outside of the Reconstruction and the Civil War, never have done that because that's considered stupid. Whether you are a Democrat or Republican, you all deserve the funding, you're American. And then you say, well, all the red states are full of poor people. That's actually mostly correct, yes. You want to know why that is? That's because the government withheld resources from the red states for a very long time on purpose. Yes, you did that because you were assholes. So you are the ones that held the purse strings, closed them up for the red states, then said, look at these dumb hicks. They're all poor. And then you increase the money to your liberal cities like New York and Chicago and Los Angeles, which would have been good for your people in the cities. And states like California. Unfortunately, that money that you gave to them didn't go to the people in the states. It went to illegal fucking aliens. Of course it did. Why wouldn't it, right? So you paid, the taxpayer money was siphoned away from red states, in many cases to blue states, to pay for those people, but instead of going to them, it was misappropriated to illegal aliens under sanctuary cities. And then you want to say, well, it's Republicans' faults. Well, it's actually both of you retards' faults. And if you can't admit it, then you have dick in your head. And that's real. So the Republicans had every opportunity to help the poor, but they said, nah, fuck them. Fuck them right up their ass. And then you gave them the money to the billionaires and made them richer. But then the Democrats had every opportunity to fix it. And they said, no, let's keep them poor so we have a crisis all the time. So poverty never ends, right? So we can always be a bleeding heart on the left and never fix a problem. But on the right, we'll talk about fixing a problem as long as the ultra wealthy get more money. Once they have an imaginary amount that nobody knows but them, then they'll start fixing America. Until that happens, I don't know what to tell you. Same with the other side with the left. And you both piss in each other's faces, piss in your face, family fun time. But one thing that's certainly not getting done is fixing problems with the poor and the middle class. None of that is being alleviated at all. Don't forget to thumbs up the stream. Gonna smoke that joint again?
In a minute.
You don't talk much. Are you happy?
I don't usually talk much.
Sometimes you. Hey, honey. Come on. They're too big to not see. Oh my God. Here, no, go the right one. Can I pull it?
My left one.
No, or your right one. Can you pull it up more? Okay, sorry about that. Nothing is getting. That's correct. So the one thing that is getting done is Iran will be free eventually. What's not getting done is anything domestically. You have to understand that there is no agenda to help the poor or the middle class. None whatsoever. That agenda does not exist. You say, well, wait a minute. What about affordability? They don't believe affordability is a problem. Our government does not believe affordability at this point is a problem. They believe it's, quote, a Democrat hoax. Our government currently believes that you not being able to afford groceries and your car payment is a hoax. You not being able to afford rent and utilities, that's a hoax. And you say, well, no, that's not what it meant. Well, no, it did mean two things. It meant that the Democrats were blowing it out of proportion, which they are, and also that that they actually believe that it's not a hoax, or that it's a hoax. So many Republicans do believe that affordability, you not being able to afford your life, is a fake made-up Democrat narrative. That's the same thing as saying that what's a made-up thing? That illegal aliens don't cost America money, right? The Republicans believe affordability is a hoax. So when you say, well, the middle class and the poor are really struggling. Yeah, well, that's not real. And that's as far as the argument goes. I know in your mind you think, oh, well, there's got to be more to it, right? No, there's not. It's that simple. The many, and I'm going to say probably 2/3 of the Republican elected legislators in America at the state level and at the House of Representatives and Senate, they believe it's fake, it's not real, and that everybody is doing okay. Democrats are just lying for more money. That's what they believe. As long as the stock market keeps going up, the poor are getting rich too. because they still believe in trickle-down economics. The Democrats will say, well, if we get in power, we're going to help the poor and get these prices down. Then they'll impeach Trump and his team, do a bunch of stupid shit with lawsuits, and nothing will get done for 2 years at all. Affordability will still be horrible. We'll still be at war with gas prices, will still be fucking terrible, and the cost of living will be through the roof. It'll actually go up in that time. So in 222 days, I believe it is, you'll be voting in the midterm elections. Many of you will not vote because you believe that the Epstein files were enough to take you out of the political process, and you don't believe it exists anyway. It's fucking garbage. Much like my wife, who doesn't vote at all. I vote, she doesn't. So that was a long time ago. But many of you are going to say, well, after I learned about the Epstein files, I'm simply not going to vote. So the Republicans will do very poorly in the midterm elections. They'll lose 5 to 7%. And then the Democrats will start with the impeachments and the lawsuits. So about 6 months into the Democrats taking over, you're going to say, well, why aren't prices coming down? What the fuck is going on here? And they'll say, well, once we take the presidency, what is this? If I want to talk to the auditor of Minnesota? Really? Okay, hold on. I just got an email. Hey, wanted to flag something timely. Minnesota State Auditor Julie Blah is opening up her schedule for creator independent journalist interviews next week. The story's significant. This is the state's highest ranking fiscal officer. Her office oversees billions in public dollars. And right now she's sounding the alarm on federal immigration enforcement is doing to Minnesota's economy. Specifically, she can speak to the financial devastation Operation Metro Surge is causing locally, how ICE activity and the ripple effect. Wonderful. But I would want to know how much money that the Minnesota Somalians were taking in fucking fraudulent shit also. So, okay, so here's the thing, okay? How do I put this? If I'm going to interview any political figure whatsoever, I don't want a list of Democrat or liberal talking points that'll be done in order to make it look like... I want to know not only that, but I want to talk about things that may be uncomfortable. Things like, where did how much money is Somalian fraud? How much, and I know because they'll just act like it doesn't exist. This is the type of thing. So while I would like to talk to Minnesota's chief financial officer next week, first of all, would you come with me?
Oh, you have to go there? You can't, it's not a Zoom or phone thing?
Can you email him and ask him if it's a Zoom thing? Because I'll ask the questions, and then I'll put it up there and see if my people...
It had times on it.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, ask to see if it's by Zoom.
It had Monday from 2 to 4 Central, Wednesday from 11 to 2 Central, or Thursday from 1 to 4 Central.
Really? Ask him if they could do, was it Wednesday? And is it by Zoom? Because if it's in person, I can't drive up there. I got to take Emily to school. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Plot twist, she is a Somali. Oh, dude. But yeah, but you see, that's the thing. Like, they were talking about me interviewing Governor Pritzker in Illinois. That hasn't gone through yet. And I would actually like to do that. Huh?
Like, even if you did Wednesday, it's 11 to 2, so it's between 2 and
So it's fine.
5.
Yeah,
So
okay.
you do Wednesday?
Yeah, because that way I can. But yeah, so like if I interviewed Governor Pritzker, that would be a very awesome thing. I would drive to Illinois for that. I'm in the state over. But the thing is I want to ask my questions too. So I don't mind asking softball questions. Tell me what the economy of ICE has done. But I'm not going to only talk about that. I'm going to be like, okay, so what has ICE done to the economy of Minnesota? X, Y, and Z, they'll tell me. How many people were arrested? X, Y, and Z. Well, now that we've talked about that, I want to ask about how much money and crime and blah has come from the Somali community and da-da-da. And they'll be like, well, no, that's over. That's like, no. We're not doing this fucking only softball liberal questions and not the tough questions. I'm not Dean Withers out there. I want to actually, I don't want to be a political side when asking. That's the problem in fucking journalism right now. That's why I don't watch Dean and Parker and Harry anymore. Parker's not terrible. I'm not going to lie. He's better than Dean Withers. I don't know how Dean Withers has more followers than Parker. Anyway, whatever. They're both liberals. Nevertheless, it's disingenuous because they're being paid by Midas Touch and they get talking points that they're paid for. I don't like doing that. I'll do it if I agree with it, but you can't say, okay, well, let's say I moderately agree with the liberal side, but they give you a bunch of radical talking points, but you radicalize yourself for the talking points more because it pays, and you become more aggressive against Trump people, even though you wouldn't normally be that aggressive with them because it pays more. So like Bill Maher style interviewing is generally what I would consider acceptable levels of interviewing because there's a back and forth. So Bill Maher will have a liberal on, and Bill Maher's a liberal. Thank you, Albania. Bill Maher's a liberal, but he'll like say, okay, well, how is this any different from Trump or whatever? And he'll like say, sounds like you're doing what they're doing just in a different way. And so Bill Maher will actually say, look, I get what you're saying, and that's in a vacuum. What's up, Ghost? How you doing? That's in a vacuum, but in the realities, it's this. And you can tell when a piece of shit is lying or not saying what they want to say because they'll stop short of giving an answer. So, like, if I say something like to Governor Pritzker in Illinois, and I'm like, tell me about Trump and ICE and what you like, and you can be candid with me, I don't give a fuck, right? And he tells me what he actually thinks. Okay, you obviously hate Trump. Is there anything you can agree with Trump on to make this fuck up come on? If he genuinely believes there might be, he'll say it. If he's paid or he's too embedded in an agenda, he'll then kind of pull it back on purpose, knowing that he might, but refuses to because of X, Y, or Z. And that's where you have to, like, do probing questions. For instance, like, if I ever talk to the governor, I would say, we talk about Trump. He could tell me how much he hated him, blah, blah, blah. And then I would ask a question like a softball, like, why are taxes in Illinois so high on marijuana? Because I've been to Michigan, I've been to Ohio, and they're purple and even soft-leaning left states. But then you come to Illinois, and the taxes on marijuana are significantly higher. In order to save face for the Democrats, isn't there any way that you could like lower those costs to be competitive with Ohio or even Michigan specifically? And there would be some answer, but those type of questions bring out the realities of people because there's not a lot of businesses that will fund talking points politically when it comes to any drugs whatsoever, unless it's the alcohol lobby. So if you ask somebody about marijuana, they don't have a stake financially in the game, generally from a company or a lobbying group, because most of the time there are barely any companies that would have the money and capabilities to lobby you for this. That's more of a grassroots thing. So if you kind of dig into those aspects or dig into what about fair abortion or this, that, and the other, it'll bring out certain answers that might go against what they're saying when it comes to hatred or love of Donald Trump. Some people are like, I know what you're doing, and they'll fucking do that because they want you to stick to their talking points. But I'm just trying to figure out like how much of this political landscape is just bullshit dick measuring just because you hate the other side. There's clearly issues we could get to, right? Isn't there anything that could easily be brought together between Democrats and Republicans that could create a third party, for instance? Something that everybody could agree with? So, like, would you say, once again, no notifications, but an hour, 55 minutes? What's up, SL Davis? Yeah, and I have a bone to pick with you. It is fucking awful, man. They have told me, I've contacted YouTube, and they tell me there is no problem whatsoever, and all my shit is working just fine. I've contacted YouTube on X at least 10 times. They refuse to respond to me at this point, and they will not, like if I go on with their little thing, sometimes they'll sit there for 15 minutes without responding to me whatsoever. Yeah, they lie all the time. And I've told them, I told them probably last week, I think it was, before I went on vacation. And they were like, oh no, we're sending notifications. I'm like, no, you're not. I was like, I have 30 people that have told me they're not. Well, can you give me their And it's like, dude, they're just not sending the notifications. Can you screenshot this, honey, and then send this to him? Like, here's images showing they're not giving notifications. What the fuck is wrong with you? Now, the reason, okay, so listen to this. YouTube has made it so that you only get 3 notifications sent out every 24 hours so that you don't get, quote, notification fatigue. Notification fatigue. And so they rarely send their shit out to their subscribers. I don't know what exactly is going on with YouTube right now. A lot of people are really fucking mad. I've noticed on X, I've been kind of following the chatter that's been going on. And a couple of months ago, like, they brought out new policies in July. And then they've changed the algorithm and made new policy 3 or 4 times in the last 6 months. So it's like a rapid fire AI fuckfest. It's ridiculous. I don't know what it is. And then after they told everybody to use AI, then they fucking started deleting AI channels, which is really a dick in the face. Nobody. Oh, hell yeah. And they still don't show, you see? But thank you, my friend. But YouTube is like, they've implemented AI seemingly for demonetizations and notifications. Thank you, baby. And all this type of stuff. And it's not that good. So if you go on Twitter for the last 3 months, it has just been a tirade of fuck AI, what is wrong with you? Nobody wants this. What the fuck? Yeah, and like, it's ridiculous. Like, I basically have to send smoke signals at this point. So literally for the last 3 or 4 months, you have had hundreds of thousands of people on Twitter saying this is ridiculous. Then all of a sudden, Neil Mohan, the head of AI, or the head of YouTube yesterday, posts on YouTube, we're bringing Gemini in to do a bunch of stuff on YouTube. Which I already knew that was coming months ago because the AI told me that it had been integrated already. And I'm like, what the fuck, dude? And so, literally, everybody is sitting there like this. No! Wrong! No! What the fuck? And then this dude is like, let's just keep doing it. So there's like blinking landing, like, no, fucking stop. No AI. Human review. Fuck you. And then the first thing they do is we're going to double down on it. Because that's what you want. And no, that's what the advertisers want. And that's what TikTok did. Remember when TikTok was banning every comment as offense and banning everybody? And every live stream was a ban. That's why I don't live stream on TikTok anymore. It's why I came here. Now they're fucking doing it here. And I'm like, look, you cannot have AI do it. Your AI doesn't understand nuance yet. It doesn't understand it. Okay? You have about 5 years before you're good. You don't need to roll out AI to test on the general populace. You have to do it in a vacuum and slowly introduce. Can you screenshot that too? I'm going to bring this over. I'll be like, here's everybody saying I don't get notifications. What the fuck, YouTube? And so it's like, stop training your AI on people's livelihoods. Demonetizing people because your AI is not trained right? Shutting people down, not showing their content, ruining fucking placement because your AI doesn't know which way its ass is up. See, there's another one. Yeah, dude. You screenshot that too? Because I'm like, YouTube, you're lying. You're fucking lying, and we're sick of it. I'm going to put this shit on Twitter too and be like, see? Yep, me either. Look, see? And it's done on purpose, right? That's the thing. Because they don't shadow ban. Nobody shadow bans. Yes, I understand that. It's called throttling. You don't use that exact terminology now. And so if I use the word shadow ban, you'll say that's not a thing. Because what you did was, well, we don't call it shadow ban, we call it flippity flopping now. And because you don't know what the term flippity flopping means, that means that you're wrong. You see how that works? Or my favorite, the platform, the system is running exactly as it should. Not that it's fair or anything's running good or it's the way we want it. It's running as it should. As it should means if we want to tell you to fuck yourself and ban you, it's running as it should, which it's attacking you. And you say, well, what do you mean? Yeah, that's why I do the red dot. And you say, well, hold on a second. What do we do? There's nothing you can do because the YouTube team doesn't manually fuck with the algorithm. The algorithm is doing this on its own. Some people say that they've lost control of the algorithm. I've heard that a time or two, which is exactly why you need to stop doing this with AI. So imagine if you had like this live stream, the vertical live stream that we're doing right now, without the influence of AI. Imagine how much better it would be. Imagine if you could put up videos without AI thinking it knows where it needs to put it, right? You talk about a video, bananas and rice, Somalia. So instead of putting it on the news feed, even though you put the category as news, it puts it up with banana recipes and rice recipes. Well, why would you do that? Because it's news. Well, the AI thought it was food. So it showed a news story to a bunch of foodies. They don't like news. These fat fucks want to eat. So instead of that, they turned it off. They had 12% engagement rate instead of 140% because you misplaced it. But you can't tell the general population that, because then they'll stop making content and they'll go to TikTok. So you keep tweaking it and fucking with it. And you keep telling Todd Berpay, this trust and safety guy, to do this and that. And he thinks he's God, but he's not. He actually doesn't know what the people want. The algorithm is what him and a couple other people want, not you. And so it's curated content. It's algorithmically curated, AI-generated systems that curate content. That's why your suggested feed on YouTube is the same 30 videos over and over and over. So you go on the right side of the video. Yeah, you can't even look up my name. Exactly. So on the right side of the video, when you click on a video on YouTube, and then on the right, there's the recommended, and you go down and it just repeats again, and it repeats again. You're like, why aren't you showing me other fucking content? Because the algorithm doesn't think you'll like that. It thinks you want these 26 videos only. And you have to click on one. And then the next one, it'll be 24 of them with 2 extra added. But maybe I want to listen to 80s music and then watch Markiplier right after. And then I want to fucking watch a video about the Normans conquering fucking England. Then after that, I want to watch a bunch of fucking girls twerking in thongs. And then after that, I want to fucking watch the moon rise. And it has nothing, and it's all not associated with anything at all. Then I look up Fruitiger Arrow. Then I look up Iran's conflict. Why? Because I'm curious. And you don't understand. You can't predict what I'm going to do. That's the problem, is the whole notion with AI is predictability of humans. And when it comes to daily life and things you are needing to do, that's very predictable. But if you put in any variability whatsoever to AI systems, it ruins it and it defaults to basic bitch horse shit. Because it doesn't know what to do. It doesn't know how to do Minority Report on your mind because you're a loose cannon. You're fucking kind of crazy. You don't do things normal people would do. And so therefore your pattern is off, and it can't time your pattern, and it can't predict your pattern. So it's grasping at straws. So it puts bland basic shit out there, which is why Mr. Beast is still the largest creator. Because it's ad-friendly, bland, middle-of-the-road, dumbass horse shit that any fuckface with a 61 IQ will gobble up like fucking Cheerios. That's what it is. And it keeps eyeballs on screen and nothing more. And you say, well, I want a deeper experience than that. I want a deeper experience. Well, no, that's the AI. And then you remember years ago, YouTube, for instance, back in 2017, 18, 16, when you had that experience. It didn't require an algorithm. Without the complicated algorithm, it was actually better because it knew to predict swaths of things. Meaning if I look up Roblox, it could be gaming or music or this or that, but it was categorical. It wasn't trying to predict what you want to watch. You know, well, every person is different. Nice. I understand every person is different and has different beliefs and needs, but trying to pin, well, we want to hyper-focus content towards you. Stop doing that. Okay? We don't want content hyper-focused. We want swath and choice. So if I look up Roblox, I want to be able to watch Flamingo make fun of people and destroy their game, or a Roblox song with my kid, or Roblox history, maybe fucking Roblox adopt me. But it's all related to the topic, not to the specific thing that you think I want, because you'll never know me. Even when I keep my search history for YouTube on, it is irrelevant because you still can't predict my behavior, which is why I've listened to disco, techno, hard rap, and rock music in the same 40-minute period. And you say, I don't know what this guy is. He just listened to opera. Now he's listening to fucking Trace Atkins, followed by fucking Motorhead. What are we doing here? It's like, yeah, followed by an Irish sea shanty, followed by a German Nazi song. Well, why is that? Because you don't know my mind. It's too unpredictable. And no matter how much your AI thinks it can't. Stick to doing the basic shit. Functioning at the job site, sorting packages at Amazon. Keep it out of creative nuance. Specifically, Sora has shut down, by the way. That was news yesterday. And they've retracted back into ChatGPT. That should tell TikTok, YouTube, Meta, all these platforms, all you need to know. $1.5 billion investment situation was rolled back because it was fucking terrible, because it was costing $15 to $17 million a day they were burning. It was unreliable. People couldn't get proper predictions off of it. Nobody could. And the reason is, you want to know why all this is like this now? 2 words. Corporate impatience. That's all. That's the 2 words you need to understand. The reason your AI systems are fucked up like this, corporate impatience. So for instance, with YouTube here, They have a great algorithm back in 2016 and 17. What's up, America? How you doing? No, you're good. So in 2016, 17, 18, 15, the algorithm for YouTube was just fine. But then they started developing AI tools. And when it got to the point where it looked like it might be able to basically function, they put it out for everybody. They put it out for everybody. And you say, wait a minute. It didn't work all the way when you rolled it out. Yes, that's correct. These systems are being trained in real time on you, and their error is being taken out on you. So, for instance, here on YouTube, thousands of channels were wrongly demonetized for inauthentic content. They were appealed and still rejected by the same algorithm that falsely took them away initially. Then, I had a friend down in Virginia that shared a story with me. A grandmother was arrested because an algorithm looked at the facial recognition and got the wrong person. So there was a criminal that was 45 years old driving a van, got away, and they got facial ID. They put it in the algorithm and it identified wrongly a 60-year-old grandmother that happened to look similar. So the police arrested them. She's out on bail, still trying to get exonerated because the what do they call that? The algorithm or the facial ID incorrectly identified. This is the second person in 2 months this has happened to. The first one was there was a person driving in a car that was near the scene of a crime. They were coming home from a grocery store. It was a mother of 3 kids, and there was a shooting in the area. Just so happens when the shooting happened, her van was driving by a camera and it took a facial picture of her. Cops arrested her for shooting a black teenager. Of course, she was a 47-year-old mother with no gun on her way to the grocery store. Of course, she was guilty until they took the footage at the grocery store, found out, oh yes, during the shooting, she was shopping for bagels or what the fuck ever. And we could track the car moving. Oh, sorry, you were guilty until proven innocent. Because the algorithm can't be wrong, right? Even though it's wrong so often. But they want to tell you it's not wrong because they don't want you to panic. Right? Because if you knew you could be arrested, right? If you knew you could be arrested for doing nothing, just being in the wrong place at the wrong time because Minority Report cameras got it wrong, wouldn't you want to bash them all down with a fucking baseball bat? Wouldn't you want to go to all those speed camera, bash them all with a fucking baseball bat, get a 30-06 and sniper them all over the country? Take down every fucking one you can? That's what I would like to do. I don't know why we're not doing. I've seen flock cameras on just recently that have a black thick electrical tape over the cameras so they can't fucking do the license plate readers. People are pissed off already. All right? And I don't know why we allowed this. None of you voted to be surveilled. I understand coming on social media or whatever it is. None of you voted to have license plate readers. What the fuck are you doing here? You know what I'm saying? And you say, well, hold on a second. What do we do about this? I don't know. The algorithms, they want to watch you. Every single thing goes to advertisers, and they want to know every single thing about you. But they're always wrong. That's why the algorithm on YouTube is always wrong. I have not had a video served to me on YouTube that I have wanted to watch for about 4 months. When I go onto YouTube or TikTok, which TikTok is getting worse, by the way, and I go on there, I'm being shown, the only thing they get right is gun videos. So good job on that. The music is okay. The gun videos are okay. It's like all these other things I've already watched. I've already watched that. I've already watched that. I don't care about Chat GPT against Grok. It's these my whole entire home screen. Let me just put it to you this way. I'm on right now the home screen on YouTube. So on the very top screen, one is sponsored. The other two videos I've already watched. The shorts, I've already watched all of them. The recommended, I've watched another sponsored. Another shorts video, it's just duplicates of the same shit almost. Next one, or two of the three I've already watched. Bottom one, I've already watched those. I've watched all those. A sponsored, I've watched it. And a video I'm not interested in. These three I've all watched. These three I've all watched. Now gun videos, these three I've already watched. These three I've already watched. Now I'm halfway down the home page now. Now we're starting to get into something. 10,000 viruses on a computer. I don't want to watch that. John Wick, there, that's the first one. So 2/3 of the way down. 2/3 of the way down on the YouTube homepage. Now there's a scene in a movie from John Wick 3 with the shotgun scene. So finally we're starting to get into something new here. Two, but I don't want to watch that. Why small creators failed. Nope, don't care. But there's all the music again. So we've had 2 videos that were different. 3. And Star Trek's showing up. Hey, so now I'm 3/4 of the way down, and there might be something I may want to watch. So that is a pitiful response. And the reason I'm talking about AI the last couple of days so much is there's an overlying situation with AI. This Iran war is being fueled by AI. Did you guys know that? 10,000 targets have been destroyed. Did you know most of them were identified with AI through Palantir and satellite sources? Did you know that all this shit's AI run? Your jobs are being lost. We're going to be losing, I think it was, 780,000 jobs predicted this year down to AI, ramping up to 3 to 5 million next year. I mean, the amount of job loss that's going to be coming up, they say by 2030 in America will be 30 to 60 million jobs completely lost, depending on how fast this basically ramps up. You say, well, man, that sounds pretty bleak. That sounds pretty bleak. I don't really like that. It is actually 0 subscribers on the one. We hit the... On the Wu-Tang Nostalgia. It actually got to 0. Anyway, and you say, well, I don't think you finished the AI. I think what you had to do is I think you needed to train AI for about 4 more years, give or take, before you did this. Right? Because this rollout is incredibly painful for the American Ganon. Isn't that Legend of Zelda? Yeah, Legend of Zelda, man. It has been an incredibly painful rollout of AI, and it's not really going good. And I want it to. That's the whole thing, is I really want it to. I want it to be good. I want everybody to make a lot of money on AI and da-da-da-da-da. But, bro, I just think you should have fucking put it in the oven longer. Okay, that's my news on that. I'm sorry. Okay, so now on top of that, another news story, Chevron is issuing a warning over green policies driving higher gas prices. California is being warned that a fuel crisis could be closer than they think, with shortages soaring and prices no longer a distant risk. Governor Gavin Newsom is trying what he can, quote unquote, but the average Californian will be facing $8 to $10 gas per gallon, $8 to $10 gas, not only because of the war in Iran and speculation, but also the green energy policies of the state of California have basically steeped the entire state into financial destruction with their green energy prices for energy. Oh, floaters in my eye. I have a bunch of those. Yeah. Floaters in your vision are more than just a nuisance. If harmless floaters are popping into your vision, it could be a sign of permanent eye damage. Studies estimate as many as 3 in 4 Americans have tiny specks of cobweb shapes called floaters These are fibers of collagen, a structure protein clumping together in the eye, gel-like substance called vitreous, which sits behind the lens and in front of the retina. While most common with age and nearsightedness, floaters are usually harmless, but researchers in the Netherlands have warned of sudden onset of floaters could be a sign of retinal detachment, which occurs when light-sensitive retina pulls away from the back of the eye. Without immediate surgical or laser treatment, retinal detachment can cause permanent vision loss. Roughly 28,000 Americans a year suffer from that. I've been getting more of those. You think my coughing from the
I
weed?
have them.
Do you?
Mhm. They have to do pictures of my eye to make sure that he said that my shit's all untapped and looks good.
I've never been to an optometrist.
You need to go. You have vision insurance.
You should go with me. I want you to sit in the waiting room and suffer with me.
I already have to suffer once a year.
Well, I'll come with you. We'll do a back-to-back, you know what I mean? One of those things. Anyway, TSA is now on the verge of closing airports in America as shutdown triggers security shortages. Airports across the country could soon shut their doors as government shutdown has brought the highest security weight in decades. Air travel chaos has reached an intense breaking point in recent weeks, with more than 480 TSA officers quitting and calling out during the shutdown in the Department of Homeland Security on Wednesday, the 40th day of the shutdown, mostly led by Chuck Schumer. TSA Acting Administrator Hay Wen McNeil told the House Homeland Security Committee. Hay Wen McNeil? Hay Wen? What time? That his agency is now being forced to consolidate security lines. Many have to close smaller airports because they don't have enough officers. This is fluid, challenging, and unprecedented situation. We understand it's frustrating. Travelers have been urged to get to the airport 270 minutes before their flight. Fuck. Oh. So travelers have been urged to get to the airport 4.5 hours before they travel. Hey, you can suck my dick. Fuck you. Meanwhile, that's another thing. So like they want I haven't heard from her in a while, but they remember the DC thing? Do you want to drive out there? Do it because I'm not going to go alone. You're coming with me. You'd have to take off work. You have to take an unpaid day. Would be in DC. You just want me to go by myself.
No.
I don't want. Come with me. Come on. It'd have to be good. Anyway, sorry about that. I don't have black spots, well, not many. The only snag was forgotten to grab my laptop at security. Only this with blah, 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 blah. These are people's personal stories. And it doesn't seem to be getting better because the Iran conflict will be ramping up. As I've said, I don't know what to tell you. America's third busiest airport is keeping wait times under 12 minutes, though, in order to, by consolidating TSA agents in the way they cycle themselves. So very nice. Detroit car maker is ticketing workers who show up to HQ parking lot in rival manufacturers' vehicles. So Stellantis, hey, what's up, America? So the American car company Stellantis, which makes Jeep, have been ticketing employees for coming to work in vehicles that are not their brand. Well,
must be paying me enough money to buy one.
Yeah, you'd be sucking my dick is what I'd be doing, or what you'd be doing. You'd be sucking my dick is what you'd be doing. God damn it. And the creator of Pinky and the Brain dies. The beloved animator and storyboard artist who created Pinky and the Brain has died as childhood memories flood in. That is bad right there. That sucks. His name was Barry Caldwell. Caldwell, who worked for Warner Brothers Animation and Disney over his career, was behind numerous popular children's characters. He created an impressive list, including the Animaniacs, Pinky and the Brain. He also was part of Curious George, Easter Comedy Hop, the artist on the Smurfs, Alvin and the Chipmunks, Clifford the Big Red Dog, Kim Possible, and Tom and Jerry. He was an admired storyboard artist and one of the main black storyboard artists and animators of the 70s, 80s, and 90s that revolutionized the field of animation. By the way, that era in time. Look, okay, so our tech. I will say this. Our technology right now, I would not want to live without. Our medical technology is somewhat better. It's getting better. Our computers are better. We have phones that we can stream on. This is nice. You can get Amazon packages delivered, blah, blah, blah. But there's an analog style that is gone. And I was talking to my kids. So my kids hate AI art. And I said, well, what if you use AI art to create something and then you build shit off of the AI art? Isn't that creative itself? And I was like saying something about, well, what about like animation? And I was like, the animation is very difficult. And she was like, well, that's the point of it being art. It's the fact that not everybody has the skill set to do it. So when somebody does something like animating Animaniacs or Pinky and the Brain, it is a unique art form that only that person has the ability to recreate and do in that particular style. People could do it very similar, but it would never be exactly what this style is. So then you say, well, it's just the wave of the future to get AI to do this. But since AI is being trained off of systems that we've already done in the past very fast through computer, reading the internet, you're just going to get a copy of a copy of a copy. In order to create a system that can, like an AI system that's going to be creative and do its own thing and think and be like a human, you can't train it on the internet. That's fucking retarded, because you're only going to get a basic bitch of a copy of a copy of a copy. So it'll try to form variations within those walls. If you want an AI system to function, thank you, PETA. If you want an AI system to function the right way, you have to train it in the real world. You're going to have the AI take long walks through forests, and you're going and through down roads, and you're going to have AI systems like robotics, not just train and like. If you want it to be a person and act like a person, you have to give it a person experience where everything is variable and possible, no matter how salacious or gross. This is exactly what the world has to be to do that with AI, because that's how humans train. And you say, well, we could just recreate a human experience. You can't, because even the very perspective differences of your vantage point change the feeling and way it is. So if I am swinging on a rope and the rope breaks and I fall and it's a fail, if I see it from this vantage point, it could be funny. If I see it from this vantage point, it could look terrifying. And oh my God, is he hurt? Over here, we're making fun of him because we know it's not a big deal. Over here, I'm behind a tree. I didn't see it, so I missed the vantage point. So now all these people are laughing, and now, yeah, I have to pretend I saw it, but I didn't actually. Right? And so there's 3, 4, 5, 6 vantage points, 10 different vantage points on a single moment in time occurring. And each AI experience, so if you send 1,000 robots and say, I want you to walk from this end of the Appalachian Mountains or the Smoky Mountains to the other end of the Smoky Mountains. There's 1,000 robots and you're all going to walk in a straight line. And you're going to go from one end to the other. And I want you eventually at the end to compile your experiences, which is what needs to happen. So you would have some robots that on the edges of the Appalachian or the Smoky Mountains virtually walk a nearly flat or very light hilly trail. Some robots will have to traverse high frosty mountains like a fucking Matterhorn, avalanche. Some of them will have to go through territory where bears exist and waters and rocky creeks and all this other shit. But each and every one of those 1,000 robots will have a different experience. And by the end of it, not one of those robots will have a different experience. And even if they're filming the whole thing, if one encounters a bear and another encounters a bear, those bear encounters are going to be different. The bears will look different. It'll be from a different angle. Different things may happen. Maybe one gets eaten and torn apart while the other one gets to pet and ride the bear like a fucking bull. Who the fuck knows? But that's what you have to prepare for. And the problem is with these things that are going on here is, like I said, it's predictive based on what human behavior has shown you on social media and on the internet. And those are a very skewed viewpoint in yourself. For instance, I'm sitting here talking to you about the news. I'm like this to a point with my life, but I don't show you 97% of my life. You guys have never even seen my wife. So how would you know how would an algorithm know what my wife might want for her birthday, for instance? So I'm like, gee, what would my wife like? Well, I know you had a wife on the live stream and she laughs a certain way. Okay, well, what does that have to do with the price of eggs in China? You know what I'm saying? It does, so you'll never know. You'll have suggestion after suggestion, but it won't. You'll suggest buying her flowers. Yeah, that's not going to work. You know what I'm saying? Or that she likes a surprise. Because 90% of women would like either of those. No, that's going to be wrong. And then eventually they'll just say, well, give your woman cash. And it's like, what? Anyway. One more thing I want to talk about, because the news were, COVID variants are coming back around again. Who fucking gives a shit? State congressman, Democrat state congressman wins the district where Mar-a-Lago is. Okay. Another congressman had an affair on his wife. So anyway, we get into politics. The fuck is this? NASA astronauts share a photo of a bizarre tentacled object growing on the International Space Station as disturbed fans state to kill it with fire. A NASA astronaut has sent a bizarre series of photos of a tentacled object growing on the space station at space_station ! This is an unusual object that's an egg with black tentacles. I'm going to say that's not good in any way, shape, or form. Just knowing what I know about just basic science, anything that like this is considered, this would be an unavoidable predator. This would be an unavoidable, unstoppable predator with absolutely no known ability to stop. Once it integrated with things like soil or human life or even oxygen for that matter, this would absolutely not. I would say, okay, in space, if you put any amount of velocity behind something, it'll just keep going forever. What you need to do is open up the hatch and fire this fucking thing into outer space with the equivalent speed of like a pellet gun. Just into deep space, heading to Saturn. And just, there it goes. And I'm looking at it. That doesn't have curative properties of any sort. That thing will turn you into a man-bear pig. There is no fucking question. It looks like it's smiling at me because it is. And that's... Hey, buddy!
What the fuck?
See? That's on the International Space Station. And then here, let me back up because you think, oh, it's just growing on an egg that they put there. No, it's not. That is the whole thing. So the black thing is just the part that's weird. That's stuck to the International Space Station. An orb with tentacles and a little white spiky thing on the edge. The fuck is that? I don't know what that is. That looks like some type of like technology integrated with a living organism that an alien device shot at that thing and like stuck on it like a tracking device. And the thing is stuck on it reading stuff, and the organic thing is feeling for organic shit. You know what I mean? Like some things that metal couldn't detect, so you have to have like something organic attached to it. That's what it looks like to me. That looks like... Show us. Okay, hold on. I might as well because I'm getting off on the live stream here in a second. And are we smoking this?
Yeah, I was kind of waiting to see if the mother can guess she's going to put it out if she comes in. But...
Well, here, just smoke it real quick. And then... Here, let me show you this fucking video on this on TikTok. Also, because this thing is fucking god-awful. Okay? Like, you're gonna be like, what the fuck is that thing? And my thing came out of the wall. I don't care anymore. Fuck it. Okay. Un momento, por favor. Oh, solo mio. The reason I keep it plugged in is because it works faster. Like, it doesn't lag as much. Well, it didn't until the other day. Okay, so this right here, and I'm going to show you some other things about Iran because I did promise Iran news. This is the full object. That's stuck on the window or this internet.
Velcro on the left.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. But that came with the object. It says a NASA astronaut has shared a photo of a bizarre tentacled object growing on the International Space Station.
Coming out of the bottom.
Yeah. So this is growing on the International Space Station. So to me, it looks like this is a growth of something organic.
That's Velcro.
No, it's not Velcro.
It looks like...
I know, but it's not. That's the thing. I thought it was Velcro at first too. That's on the window. It's not holding on to anything.
Yeah, I know, but it looks like one of those little...
I know, but it's not. It's
Velcro things.
yeah, but it's not. It's an organic substance, and so is the sphere, and then that fucking whatever the fuck that is. Like, to be fair, I can kind of like I say the thing that looks like Velcro. That basically just is like a fungus. There's funguses that look like that. Just that's a really big version of it. Because normally you see that under like a microscope or under a magnifying glass. So if you look at a fungus in some cases, it'll look like this. It has these little, right? So a fungus is a very basic form of life. So I can understand the fungus. The white shit, but the fucking whatever the fuck that thing is, along with the metallic looking egg. Even the egg I could understand because all forms of life, even humans use eggs to reproduce. Right? Even women have eggs inside of them. It's not like an ostrich egg, but so even human females have eggs. So this is an egg. And that means, yes, that means that extraterrestrial life is going to be more like this. Because an egg right here is a common design in all forms of life. The Velcro is probably a fungal or some other type of microbial life that's been picked up on the object as it was traveling. Because space is not actually a vacuum, by the way. And then this thing that's coming out of both sides is whatever object is in the egg. Wouldn't you agree? Because that looks like a tentacle coming out of the bottom, right? That little spike. What? What's up, Gino? Yeah, no thanks on that shit, my friend. And then close-up of the objects, the tentacle object. So when you look it up, It almost looks like a smiling weed plant that's some black butter shit. So that's a close-up of the tentacled object. So, anybody want to tell me what the fuck that is? Anybody out there at all? That's terrifying. That should terrify the fuck out of you. And this is the astronaut that's sharing the image. Don Petty snapped the image during Expedition 72, which took place from September 23rd, 2024 until April 2025. So, how you like them apples, lady? That's pretty fucked up, don't you think? Would you call that fucking weird as shit, honey? So, what do you guys make of that? I'll be putting that up on my archaeology page, because that's a winner right there. Let's see. Remember when life looked like this? Now, a couple of days ago, I was talking about aesthetics. This is the global coffee house aesthetic right here. That no longer exists for the most part. Some exist. What does everybody think of Tuscan-style mansions? Do you like Tuscan-style mansions? Or is that too Sopranos? Like, and then, yeah, Sora, what do you got here? Silent disappearance of fireflies. We might be the last generation to see fireflies. That's why you need to go on a project and make them. But people aren't going to do that because they're fuckbag idiots, aren't they? I want to show you a video of some dogs escaping earlier. That was fantastic. Remember that? The poor dogs. They were stolen in China, and they ended up making their way home. 7 dogs were all working together. They ran by the balls. That's fucked up. So far, we're not getting any real footage. Okay, Iranian missile strike near an Israeli factory in Negev, a Palestinian territory. So there is... Here, I'll... So that's an Iranian strike on a missile factory or some type of weapons factory in Israel about, 45 seconds ago, give or take. This is in Tehran right now. This is where the Basij or the IRGC forces, they said they lost 200 men that were killed in this one attack. That you can see puffs of smoke there. Those were 200 men were killed in that strike right there. So just want you to know that. That happened in Iran. That was an Israeli strike, by the way. Thank you, baby. And this right here, where is this? Here's an Israeli bomb hitting in Gaza. Zooey mama. So let's check that out again, because that's still, Better jar that egg. That's 2000s. So that was a post on Instagram. This is Israel blowing up tents. Why they had... it had a piece strike the ground first. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. So those are tents that were destroyed. An unknown amount of dead there. That was just a little while ago. Israel is reportedly preparing to mobilize 400,000 men and women amid plans to expand its military into Lebanon. This move is described as an escalation involving Iran and the Hezbollah group in the region. However, the figure represents the maximum ceiling approved by the government for operational flexibility, not meaning that the entire force will be deployed at once. Large-scale mobilization is taking place alongside plans to expand ground operations into southern Lebanon aimed at creating a buffer zone to prevent cross-border attacks on Israel. The situation marks a serious escalation in regional conflict with potential humanity and geopolitical impacts that could grow even wider if military operations expand. And of course, as you know, isn't there a plains of Megiddo up there? But as of right now, we're not seeing a huge, this is 8 hours ago, Iran struck a chemical factory in Negev, Israel, the sole supplier of white phosphorus to the U.S. military. Same chemical weapons used by Israel to burn the homes of people. CNN is telling sources, CNN Iran is actively preparing. Hold on a second. Iran is preparing for an invasion of the islands. This was 2 hours ago. I've been telling you about this for a couple of days, that we're going to be invading. However, I was wrong. It's not the islands down here. So the islands that they're going to seize, the United States military, these islands right here and this island right here. Now, the prize is Karg Island. Okay? That's what the United States military is going after mainly because of their high oil producing capacity. So this will come from an attack more than likely by airborne forces, or I would say by amphibious forces. I don't know about that. And then 5 of these islands, 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 6 or 7. Actually, this will be taken probably by Marines. And by the time that's over with, this will stop the attacks from the Straits of Hormuz, because then we will be able to set up shorter range munitions to attack shorter range missile systems and shorter range things like 155 the howitzers and the other things like that. And we can start blasting the coastline for a foothold for a full invasion. What's up, B-Vance? So the taking of these islands will be small footholds into taking the land. And if you take these and these, you can have it's not necessarily a pincer attack. It's an encirclement. So if you attacked from here and then you attacked here and you came in like this, right? You see what I'm talking about? One goes straight in and one comes straight up, and you cut this region off right here. These people become encircled. You link this whole section. You take that. We can start bringing men into this area, cut them off. They'll surrender or die, whatever it is. Yeah, and then we form a line from basically the Iraq border. I'm assuming that's where we'll want to go, all the way here, creating a buffer zone. So their military will attack coming from the west or east to west, and then from north to south. So you'll have men, munitions, and supply chains starting to come into this region right here. And defensive or offensive lines, in this particular case, it will be here. These will rebuff the attacks from Iran. And then eventually we'll want to link up with Pakistan. Now, this is very important. And the reason I'm saying this is because Pakistan has invaded Afghanistan. So if you look over here.
You were going to show the video of the dogs.
Oh, I am. I already have it up. I'm waiting. So if you look over here, Pakistan has already invaded Afghanistan. Okay? So they're in battle right now. Pakistan is a friend of ours, of sorts. They're an enemy of an enemy. So it would benefit us best, and it would be easiest militarily to take over this and the eastern, southeastern part of Iran, right? It would be much easier than to going, say, directly into Tehran or into the mountainous regions. So we'll more than likely do that, and then we can also set up commerce and military support back and forth with Pakistan. That'll actually alleviate more than you think. The Gulf states will also be supplying intelligence, some aircraft to attack, to assist, and these type of things. I would assume Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates would join us almost immediately. The United Kingdom and France are sending out shit to potentially help. This is going to be a big show coming up here if it actually does. I can't imagine us building a force out there without going in. Not at the cost that we're looking at here. Now, in the meantime, Iran will keep fucking with the oil. Wait a minute. U.S. Embassy bombed in Sweden. Let me check that out, because not embassy in Iraq of India, just embassy. Because that could be absolute horse shit. And most of this is. See, like, that's the only source of that. So that means somebody just made that crap up, and that's not real. And yep, so that's not real. That's horse shit. More AI garbage gunking up fucking news, as always. And then I got to show you coming up here this cute little puppy. These cute little puppies, because there was a bunch of dogs that were honey, the Gayatollah.
Pick yourself off the ground, cause the new Ayatollah's got it going on. To find out he loves big dong. US Intel says he's been gay all along. It's fun for him, will be the gay Ayatollah.
Why is he with Tucker Carlson?
It's fun to be the gay Ayatollah. It's fun to be the gay Ayatollah.
Well, damn. See, AI's not all bad. And this story was out of China, and there was 7 dogs. These 7 dogs were taken illegally by somebody that was going to make them dog meat. Apparently in northern China, there are certain groups that believe that eating dog meat warms you. How fucking stupid. Anyway, so these dogs were captured in 3 houses in China. However, the cage got open and the dogs escaped. And in this particular pack, the corgi led the way home, and the dogs were protecting other dogs and checking on the dogs in the back to make sure that everybody made it home. All the dogs ended up back with their 3 families. So here's videos, or a video that was taken of these dogs that escaped. And you can see this little corgi right there. He's the leader. There's another dog walking ahead because he's impetuous. But anyway, these dogs escaped an illegal dog meat factory. And they were in China, and all of them banded together to make sure that they got home. And there are video or images out there of the dogs. I put them up on TikTok. I don't know if I can find them right offhand again. Making it home with their owners. So generally they were saying, like, you can see the dogs are walking, and then coming up here when the traffic is about to pass, the bigger dogs protect the smaller dogs. So watch, like, here they're all walking. Here you got it. And then the cars are about to come, and then next scene coming up, and then the little dogs get in, and the bigger dogs are more in the road. So Yeah, that's like Homeward Bound. Now, of course, that movie will not be allowed in China because it'll have a negative light on Chinese people might eat dogs, and they don't want it. Anything negative against China is a dick in the ass. So if you say China might be, oh, that you can't say that. We're a bunch of sensitive, dumb fuck government fucks. Winnie the Pooh shit pants. Winnie the, man, try saying that on TikTok. Hey, Xi Jinping of China, you Winnie the Pooh looking motherfucker, you. You kill a bunch of Muslims in concentration camps, and you're a fucking repressive dictatorship. Fuck Xi Jinping, China, suck my fucking dick. Chinese people are great. Xi Jinping's a piece of shit, though. Here's one of the dogs that survived. So this is a clip. This is in light of the Brave Seven. They're now calling the Brave Seven dogs in China who escaped. I can't help but imagine Princess Xiao Bi, a stray puppy, being eaten. Then there's one. Yeah, there you go. See, so there. Yep. And so people really should be ashamed of themselves, but they're not. Bunch of fucking weirdos. Dogs kidnapped for meat. Let's see if we got any other updates on that. Because I'm looking at the latest on here. What is this? Oh, no. There's dogs being taken prisoner in cages in China. That's a bunch of bullshit. I would want to not do business with China until they made it illegal and a criminal penalty. Like, somebody asked me, they were like, oh, well, pigs are smarter than dogs. You gotta stop eating bacon? And I was like, look, if pigs start talking to me and forming groups in order to escape, and then be like, hey, can I, then I'll think about not eating them, yes. I would only eat I would only eat lower critters that don't know how, like. But anyway, that's what that is. Is this the people? Is that them? Is that an international aid group? Oh, hold on. Within 36 hours. Okay, so here's the update on them. So here's the dogs right there. There's all the dogs right there. And you say those people aren't Chinese. A group of dogs broke out of a meat facility. Were seen running through the streets, sticking together and protecting each other. Then something incredible happened. An organization that knew a group of neighbors who were all looking for dogs reached out and made the connection. Within 36 hours, the dogs were on a plane headed to their new homes within the same friend group. Now photos of the first pool day is going viral, showing the dogs together, finally safe, playing in the sun in a swimming pool instead of being turned into dog meat. So here's the dogs now making it from being turned into dog food, literally. Especially this little guy right here. He was the one in the front. And there's the Honorable Corgi. Of course, as you know, Max was a Corgi. Mm-hmm. And Shotzi and Max used to have all kinds of fun times. Mm-hmm. Max was like, come on! And they would run together with their faces touching.
Shotzi wanted him to be her first.
Yes.
And then Jack took her.
I can't believe it. I can't believe it. And now everybody's dead. I know, it was terrible. Well, you see, what's his name? Max. Max was a bachelor. He wouldn't settle. He was a player, but he was more into the treats than the woman. He was more into the treats, and that's just how it is, and I understand. Oh, look at the pups. Anyway, so that's a good story. No, they're not eating the dogs. Jesus Christ. They were trying to, and now they're living in California, probably in a pool.
Well, not in a pool.
Well, they went to a pool day, yeah. So, real quick, I guess that's it. Huh. Interesting.
I'm gonna go take this one. I'm gonna check on her daughter.
How long has she been in there?
Oh, an hour and a half.
Emily! Is she gonna be okay?
Oh, I'm sure. She's
I
a
bet.
little wrinkly, but
Well, Emily!
I'll go get her.
Anyway, so that's basically it. The news, we're in a holding pattern right now. The news I talked about yesterday is basically the same that's going on today, except for that weird fucking thing that was on the International Space Station. Oh, and Kristi Niam, spent a lot of money. She spent $220 million on ads to make herself look good. That's a piece of shit. Kristi Niam spent $20,000 for horse rental. She spent $4,000 for her hair and makeup.
She's putting her pants
Oh,
on.
thank God. Okay.
What, do you think she was dead?
Well, I don't know. One time you came there, she was asleep.
Well, that was a long time ago.
I know. Kristi Niam gave the production firm a $60,000 sign-on bonus, $100,000 in labor for the film, $50,000 to $53,000 for videography, and $500 at a magic store for magic markers. I have a plus $42,000 for vendor costs. I have a feeling she got ripped off. So a long time ago, I tried to do a YouTube channel for a guy in his housing company. He was a realtor. And he ended up not, after I did his channel for a couple of months, he ended up not using me. Then he paid like $3,000 to YouTube for promotion and got the same exact views I got him for free. Then he was like, well, I spent $10,000, $15,000 on videography. I'm like, thank you, Charlie. I'm like, thank you, Charlie Chan. That is awesome. Thank you, my friend. And I was like, you're getting ripped off. And he's like, well, the drone. I'm like, $15,000 for 2 days of videography? Who the fuck do you think you are? I'm sorry. And it's not just, like, I know it's a high going rate, all right? That's a goddamn ripoff. That's a ripoff. So, like, if you're saying, well, I'm on the studio with Markiplier today, we charged Markiplier $10,000. I don't care if your equipment is diamond cut from Minecraft, okay? That is too fucking high of a price. Let's reduce that 2/3. You're ripping them off, okay? That's just no question about it. Mm-hmm. And Hollywood does that. And then they expect the piece. So, like, remember when they made Disney, the Star Wars Disney? And then they charge people $7,500 for a fucking, 2-day pass? It's like, fuck you. Well, it costs us a lot. I'm like, you're a piece of shit. Like, I understand you can make it a little more expensive, a little extra, right? That's okay. I get if you want to be extra on that. But that's not even extra. That's like fucking, you're like, I don't know what term that is. What's more than extra? Raping, dick in the ass, not wanting it. I don't, like, yeah, thank you. You know, slap you around and then force it. Like what? I don't know, but like something's got to give with the pricing here in the United States. We're getting fucked and hosed, and everybody knows that. And then these people, and you say, well, no, those are Trump people. Well, it seems like this bitch is ripping people off still. When you're spending $220 million on advertisement, you're ripping people off a little bit. You're ripping the American people off. Well, no, it had to be done for a field. No, it actually didn't. None of that. Let me put it to you this way. When Kristi Niam spent $220 million for a feel-good campaign about ICE, did it change any opinions whatsoever? Democrats still were in the streets trying to block you, using their own bodies as shields to the point where the Supreme Court stepped in and fucked up what you were doing. So $220 million, you literally took that, wadded it up, and put it in a toilet bowl. And then you flushed it on camera and said, look, America, look what we're doing with 220 million of your taxpayer dollars. We are flushing it down a filthy, shitty toilet. Yeah, and I blew bubbles in it. The old bubble blowing, right? The old toilet bowl. Yes, and that's it. Well, no, that was Trump. That's not wrong. Like, no, it's always wrong if they're fucking you and stealing from you. And I hope ideologically you can see that, but I know some of you can't, which is unfortunate. Anyway, sorry about the ranting and stuff. We're waiting on big moves when it comes in Iran right now. Donald Trump basically said that we're going to be going in possibly in a week or two, and we're going to be ramping up our attacks, and we expect Iran to ramp up their attacks as well. Obviously, and the odds of recession here in the United States are increasing, and we're possibly getting to the end of the petrodollar. So that's what we're doing. By the way, Facebook and Mark Zuckerberg is now pivoting to propping up and helping small business. Now that a bunch of kids were harmed by his products, now he's going to be a good American. I hate Mark Zuckerberg with every fiber of my being. There is no person I would like to slap the shit out of more than Mark Zuckerberg. I do not know what the fuck Mark Zuckerberg's problem is. This guy, so Facebook, and you're still coming here. Facebook was created as basically rifling through girls he wanted to fuck, and then he made a platform off of that, right? So he basically hacked into systems to get personal information so he could talk up girls and bang them out. And then he created a platform that scrapes data and does the same thing that you're all using. And then he made billions of dollars off of it, harmed a lot of children. People actually died from Facebook. Facebook, I think it was in Myanmar that they gave information on civilian rebellions to the government that had people had them killed by the government, and they're like, "Oops." That's that, and it's like, dude, like Mark Zuckerberg is a piece of shit. His Chinese wife is a communist asset. I don't know what to say. Most of these tech people are horrifying human beings. I don't know if any of you went to college. When I was in college, the wokest people in college were the ones that were doing computer science and writing code and building mainframes. Those were the wokest. Those were woker than Black history and gender studies people. The most woke people in America are the ones that work for Silicon Valley. And you can see it right now. Any platform, it's like stepping into communist China. And you say, well, why is that? I don't know why that is. But every one of them was like, how do I put this? They were all male pick-me's that were, I don't like the term beta, that were cuck to their women. And I'm not even saying like equal. It was like they were like submissive every occasion, not even equal. And it's like they were all very woke. And I'm talking like violent. Like they would, you ever see a man scream and they go, when a man screams and he gets into that high pitch and then you think he's a bitch all of a sudden? Where he's fucking, instead of being like, I'm gonna fucking like a real man, he's like, and he's a grown man and he screams like that. And you're like, dude, I have lost all fucking, like you do not have a dick at all. Right? That's how these people are that worked or that did these computer science things. They were real sensitive and touchy. right? And they would scream like a high-pitched girl scream when they got offended. And then these are the people that are running these systems, by the way. So, yeah. So, just remember that, because that should terrify you. The people that are in charge of writing policy for these social media companies are the men that scream like women when they're offended about immigration policy. You're racist! And he's 42 years old and he looks like he's 300 pounds with a beard. Yeah, you know the meme, you know, the fucking meme. Yeah, that's a real thing, by the way. That's why that meme exists, unfortunately. So those people are real, and they're running your technological sectors. And the quicker we get them out of technology, the better. I'm serious. Like, there is nothing worse than that group of people in the world. I'm starting not to like, and it's I don't know how to put it, because I like rednecks to a point and I like hillbillies to a point. Except I don't like the asshole ones. And I yell at them all the time. The best I can describe it is living tractor rap. You kind of understand what I'm talking about? The people out there that are, you could call them tractor rap. So these are white guys that act hood. All right? But they're country. So they're country white guys that act hood. So they'll drive a dually. And they'll diesel you when you're driving. And then you get out and you're like, who the fuck is this? Hey, what's up, player? What's up, player? And they're listening to fucking E40 in a dually that just got done in the fields, talking like they just got out of fucking the projects. And I'm like, what are we doing here? What the fuck? What is that? You remember the Family Guy episode where the elephant fucks a penguin, and it has the elephant penguin, and Noah's like, hey, what the fuck is that? Right? He gets the gun. He's like, what the fuck is that? That's what is that sector of society? There's a lot of Walmart involved with that. I just want to point that out. So if you're like a hillbilly, or if you're a redneck, or if you're a truck driver or something, this doesn't pertain to you. This isn't you. If you drive a truck, if you're a rig operator, you're not one of this, because you wouldn't be caught dead near this. This would embarrass you and your family, right? That would embarrass, if you said, yeah, you get out and you're like, you're at the truck stop, you pull your rig in, and man, your back hurts. You've had a long day hauling. You're going to get in there and get you a meal. And then you see this guy wearing farming equipment with a fucking John Deere hat backwards. What's up, playboy? Yeah, shit. And you're like, and all you want to do is just go, and just fucking, and you know you can't. Anyway, so that's my rant on that. So we'll get back to the news tomorrow. Like I said, Friday I will be up in Canada for a little bit, and then I will be coming back Saturday. Saturday, we will be live streaming the No Kings protests. It'll be later, 5 or 6 o'clock. Sorry, there's nothing I can do about that, but I will get them up when we're out there, and we'll get the just big dick stick showing this out here. Hopefully they'll be protesting Sunday too, so I can have a fucking 4-hour content banger. But yeah, so that's what it is. Sorry. I'm going to go and take these screenshots, and I'm going to go over to YouTube coming up tonight and ask them why all of my followers are saying they're not getting my notifications and never do, but you're telling me they do. And here they are saying they don't when I ask them. So you're lying, YouTube, or you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Thank you, Albania, which seems to be more or less the... By the way, if you are a YouTuber and you go to talk to YouTube under the help thing on your channel or your studio, and when you get to there, it'll ask you what the problem is. The very first, thank you, Nana, the very first thing you can click on is my followers aren't getting notifications. So this is a very known issue. And it seems to me like they're too involved with AI, which is why we need to stop this shit. But they're not going to because they have too much dick in their ass. Anyway, so follow me on TikTok, Sup America 2. Don't follow the fake accounts. The Sup America has 87,000 followers. That's my archaeology page. And my other one, my Sup America 2, has 67,500, give or take. The one with 14,000, that's fake. That's fake. They're scamming. I've reported them 3 times. TikTok is an absolute dumpster fire, which is why I come here. People keep telling me to go live on TikTok. Go live. Why aren't you? Because fuck going live on TikTok. There is nothing good at all about live streaming on TikTok. Oh, the money's good, but the restrictions they give you, 4 restrictions on a live stream, all of those count and you get banned for it. And so certain words, it's like the most out of control. Like, I am not going to go live streaming on TikTok again until I am sure that you cannot be fake mass reported by assholes. I will never go live on TikTok ever again until I am sure that somebody with 25 fake accounts can't just fake report everything you into being oblivionized. That is not a stable environment for anybody. I don't even want my kids on TikTok at this point, right? I know they don't listen to me and they fucking do it anyway. She's probably on it right now. Isn't she?
I don't know, probably.
But I don't like TikToks. Well, what are you, my mom? What are you doing here? Anyway, you gotta be nicer.
I am. You've already did it.
Yeah, but So anyway, don't forget to subscribe, share, like, hit the notification button. And if you don't, please subscribe, actually. That would be a good idea. And I'll be back tomorrow. I'm more than sure there's going to be some big-ass news coming out, given the bullshit we've seen today. This is going to be a rough couple of days, I would assume. So, if you don't like me, block me and go fuck yourself. I'll be back tomorrow. And suck a dick, dumb shits.